the last concept that we need to learn before we can start running here in R is the concept of packages. Now that's already confusing because it has two names now again. Packages, you can see here, or library. So basically, library is the function that runs or that makes a package available. So this strange word there is pronounced netar, and that is the name of a package. And library is the function. You know it's a function because it's followed by round brackets. So again, this we're telling RStudio, please can you make available the package, which is also called a library, just for our purposes. We're telling it, please make this library, the library called netar, available for us to use. So what a package is it's just a whole bunch of functions in R. But R is open source. It is a vast coding language. You can do many, many things with it. So what people have been doing is they create functions and save those functions in packages. And you can think of packages like books almost. It's like I am maybe doing microbiome research, and I analyze that data in a very specific way that is very different from someone who is maybe doing economic analyses. You can imagine that working on the microbiome and working on the economy of America, the analysis can look very different. So if I'm working on microbiome data, and there are these specific things that I do over and over to the data, I can write a script like this and save several of the things that I do over again, which are, a few steps at a time. I can save those things as functions. So it's like a little recipe. So instead of having to type 10 lines of code to do the same thing over and over again, I can save it as a function and give it a name. Like, let's say, cleanup. Let's say there's a few lines there's a file that I read in, and I always have to do the same things to it. Then basically I can say to it, do these 5 steps on this data every time. And those 5 steps I save as a recipe. I call it cleanup, and that's my function. And so when there's a lot of functions like that, I can put all those functions into like a book. And that book is sort of a package. So I bind them all together. I put them all together, and I make like a package which is downloadable. So now if you come along and you're also going to do microbiome research, instead of you now having to write all your own functions and trying to figure out how to do certain things that are repetitive, you can just download my package. And then all the functions that I already wrote is available to you. And you can just use it, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel the whole time. So that's what a package is. So when you open RStudio the first time, it loads R, and there's a whole bunch of functions that it loads automatically. But if you want more functions that users like me wrote for you to use, then you have to load them specifically. And that's what you're doing here with these packages. You're basically loading all the packages or the libraries that you think you're going to need. And as you load them, they become available. They make those functions available, and then you can use them. So that's what's happening here. We will go through that again when we now actually start working on the assignment. All of this is still just orientation.